Hello, Namaste. This is Dr. Bhushan. So I have already posted one video about the Enlightenment My Way, the first episode. And this is a continuation of that episode, that video. So in my last video, I had mentioned that I was working in a small town. The name is Chopal in Himachal Pradesh. And I had met one Shastriji, one school teacher who used to teach Sanskrit and Hindi. And he had told me three things, which I mentioned in my last video. One, because of the placement of a shadowy planet Rahu and Mars in my 7th house in my chart. So he told me three things. One, that I will get married in a intercaste family, and secondly, he told me was that my wife would be fair in color, beautiful, very good in her traits. And third thing he told me was that I will not be able to settle down in my own hometown, in my family, which meant that I'll be settled away from my family. So the Shastri, when he told me, I was not married, so I had no clue with my wife. And my desire was to settle down, maybe in my city those days, But as things moved on, all the three factors came true. But in this episode, I want to tell you how things manifested externally, though I was told, in advance that this is what is going to happen in my life. But before I move on, I want to sing just two lines of a Hindi song, which carries a lot of meaning related to our today's discussion. कोरा कागज था ये मन मेरा, लिख दिया नाम इस पे तेरा. This means that I was in my life, I was very raw, but as you came in my life changed. So now what I want to explain to is, I got married in an intercaste, fair and lovely, that has come out true. And second thing he told me was that my wife would be beautiful, fair in color, very good looking. So the girl I chose later on happened to be out of my caste. And she had all the beautiful traits, in terms of looking after the house, in terms of her, schooling, in terms of her lifestyle. So I got influenced, so we decided to get married, and we got married. So that thing came true. Second was, two things I already mentioned. But the third thing was my settlement away from my family. That's something I want to highlight now. So what happens is, because, when I was in Hoshiarpur, I used to like the city. So I moved on to Amritsar, did my dentistry there. Then from there, I moved on to Chandigarh. I spent almost a year and a half in PGI. So my exposure actually got expanded. So now, when I used to go to Hoshiarpur, and my brothers, they were established, they had a name in the city, and my brothers would tell me that they'll buy property for me to open up a beautiful clinic. But I won't like the city myself. So I was half-hearted, inside of me used to say, no, let's look at other options. And when I decided to get married to my to-be wife, and she gave me one condition. She said, everything is fine, but with my lifestyle, with my bringing up, I find Hoshiarpur is not a city for me. She would love to settle down in a bigger, better place. Although there was no, financial restraints in my family, but I also thought that my wife to-be has a different financial family background, lifestyle background, and I also wanted it. So I said, okay, let's take a chance and move on in life. So that's how the third prediction came true, that I didn't get settled in my city. So from there we moved on. Life was very wonderful. We enjoyed. I've lived in 2-3 continents, worked in different countries, Everything has gone fine. But something that I thought of sharing with you is what a small pundit told me was so true in my later life. So this astrology is a wonderful mathematical science. It can predict things which are going to be happen in future. So my enlightenment came from this very small fact that things are pre-written, predestined. Some force, cosmic force, you can name that force by God, whatever, by Hindu name, other names. Some force is working silently and we are just playing in the external world. So whatever we hear in the external world is always mentioned, decided in the internal world. So in order to get enlightened, I feel we must try to interconnect these two things. How? One easy way is to go into meditation, close your eyes, sit in a silent, still posture for whatever time you have, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. And then the door which keeps us away from the cosmic energy and our own thinking is the intellect. So the moment we make an effort to look through the door of intellect, we get a lot of information. So that is my enlightenment, my way too. Thank you.